Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to your talk, but I really should. About the last slide, you mentioned the distributed API. Did I understand it correctly that you basically queried the quorum? So that means you do 10 API requests. So you do 10 times the work strictly necessary?
Well, on the Bitcoin network, you actually do the work for every request on every node. And so if you have 6,000 nodes, you're literally doing the work on all 6,000 no matter what you do.
Right, but if I have, as an API consumer, I send out, instead of one centralized API request, I send out 10?
No. You send out one, and then it makes a subquorum within the system to handle it internally.
All right. Other question, how fast is fast? So
which component?
So you mentioned the transactions being instant. I think that's actually your tagline. Private, instant, and secure?
Yeah, like 100 milliseconds.
100 milliseconds, and then it's set and done?
Yes.
That's impressive. Nice. And I was wondering about that one exactly. Immune to 51% attacks? How exactly does that work?
We're going to be releasing the other components of this, and that's included in one.
All right, cool. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So actually I have two questions. The first one is you have the masternode system, but those masternodes receive masternode rewards. So people want to have those masternodes online 24/7 and often host them on external services like Amazon, etc. So how are transactions private from NSA, for example, when a lot of transactions happen, are mixed in those masternodes who are hosted on American servers?
Well, okay, so if the NSA is listening to the network, they would have to listen to every masternode that you mixed on, right? However, this system doesn't mix on masternodes at all. It's done on a protocol level. And so we actually don't like that we're mixing on masternodes, and I've wanted to remove that for a long time, and I finally figured out how to do it. And so that's the direction that we're going in.
And then the second question is, well, you said you launched first as Darkcoin, but that's not true. You launched the coin as Xcoin without telling the people that there would be privacy features and so on. So there was not a lot of interest in it. And what's more, in the first 8 hours, there were 1.5 million coins mined. At the moment, there are 6 million. There would be 80 million, and that has dropped to 20 million, roughly. So how can you say with a straight face that this is just an accident and not something like a planned scam?
This is funny. There's a whole group of people that complain about this, and none of them are investors in the coin. The investors in the coin don't care. And it's because this was settled so long ago. And you're obviously not invested in the coin, right?
I had one.
Yeah.
Just to dump it recently.
Yeah, there you go. And so our distribution's fine. I don't actually own as many as anyone thinks, and our core team all combined own, less than 10% of the currency.
How can you say that? How can you be sure of that?
Because I've asked people.
8 hours for 1.5 million, and not a lot of people were aware of that coin when it launched. So I doubt that claim.
There were hundreds of miners, if not thousands, and then
maybe you had like hundreds of miners.
No, sorry, didn't happen.
You can say that.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to say about the last questions. Thank you very much for coming here and participating and expressing those points of views. I mean that very, very sincerely, because this is a platform for exactly all of that. And this is competition, this is diversity, and I'll just speak for myself. Organizing an event like Bitcoin Wednesday, there's a lot of competition, and I want to really go on record as I have in the past, of saying many people are going to have criticisms of you in every effort or any enterprise that you do, and there's going to be that's basically what makes a horse race. That's part of that's part of a very vibrant, dynamic sector that we're in. And I think that we should really encourage that type of criticism because it's going to make us stronger. And I think that it's really great that we get that type of criticism. So bring on more of that so that we can learn from it and we can openly discuss it. So, please come and criticize me and come and criticize the speakers as well, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to grow as a community. Competition and a critical viewpoint is how we got here in the first place. That's what Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he and his team are, they came with very heavy criticism about the traditional financial system because it simply did not meet all the world's needs. And you're coming here with a similar criticism to Dash. And I think one of the answers is, they're coming here, I think, to share what they've done and their ideas and opening themselves up to that criticism. And that may be very fair, I think, everything that's being said. So, please continue. It's really welcome. I just want to, I applaud that.
Okay, so to be honest, I didn't have much information about Dash before I came here, but it sounds really interesting. Although I have some concerns as well, because you were saying that the nodes, the master nodes, they get rewarded as well. So how will you protect your network from being basically overtaken by some corporation? Because what could happen in the future is that corporations start buying some master nodes and they get majority. That way they get most of the votes, so they can vote about how what the development will be, and yeah, basically.
So the way that it works is supply and demand. If you go to try to buy 1,000 Dash off an exchange, it's expensive. If you try to buy 10,000, it's very expensive. As you try to buy enough to have majority, you would move the price so much that you would actually cancel out the effect that you're trying to have.
But if you want to overrun something as a corporation, you're not going to do it in such obvious way. You're going to do it very silently. So you're going to buy stuff over time, and that way you get majority.
There's still only a limited supply of the coins, and so you'd be buying and buying and buying, and you're constraining the supply so then it raises the price, which doesn't allow you to continue buying because you'd run out of money.
But you don't need it that much. Like you need just 100 Dash to run a node.
1,000, yeah.
Or 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there is also hardware invested, which you can buy by normal money. So even though, let's say that somebody already in the network has, he said 1.5 million Dash, they still need some investment in the hardware. So they might not have that, but then some corporation can come and they can start silently, start buying.
Even if you had 1.5 million Dash, you'd have 1,500 master nodes. And there's 3,200 currently. And so that would put you up at almost nearly the limited, or the supply limit of the entire currency as a whole.
Okay.
And even if you had 1,500, you still don't have majority. It takes a lot of coins to have majority. And so it decentralizes it because it's people all over the earth that are running these things. And if somebody tries to get into a position like that, it would raise the price, and no one's going to want to leave the currency if the price is continually appreciating, which even makes it harder to get nodes.
Yeah. Okay.
What if you rent a node? How much do you pay for the reward for the setting up the node?
It's about $30 currently.
$30. I pay every node like $40 to make vote for this particular feature. How do you protect for it?
It's possible. I mean, I think you would be found out by the network. I mean, you could possibly buy votes.
Or you could buy nodes also. Like you could, you could acquire nodes. possibly. And if this happens, you know, slowly enough, then
You're still going to raise the supply because you're going to raise the price as you try to do it because you're going to constrain the supply. It's always going to happen no matter how you try to get the coins because you're actually trying to take coins off of the market to build these nodes and it's a limited supply.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay by coins for that. You can acquire nodes by other currency that way because right now Dash is not really like big currency yet. So it would be actually cheaper to buy the nodes.
What do you mean by buy the nodes?
Like basically you get the existing nodes, so you don't.
Oh, so you're saying you go to a specific operator and you say, "I'll buy the node off of you."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, as you do that, you're taking the supply. I don't think you could purchase all of the nodes off of the network. You'd have to find all of the operators, and those people are anonymous as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty difficult to attack it like that.
And other question: how do you push updates into the nodes?
The masternode network is really cool because it requires a specific version to get paid. And so we have an update window. If you don't update within the window, then you stop getting paid.
Okay.
And so our network usually updates within 2 or 3 days, the entire network. And in 7 days, we cut them off, and the old ones that are on the old software just don't continue to get paid anymore.
So how is it protected against some malicious code being pushed as an update?
Well, because we sign the code, the core team does, and then we push the code with the signatures.
Okay, but what if the core team gets corrupted, or I know it's open source, it's on GitHub.
Yeah, it's open source.
But what guarantees that it's gonna get actually built from that particular source?
Well, we use deterministic building. And all you do is you build it deterministically with multiple people, and then you compare the output hashes of the build. And if the output hashes of each of the builds from the separate builds from the separate people that did it separately all match, then it was built with the same software.
Okay, but that's still within the core team. So there is,
anyone can participate in that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. So this voting mechanism, if I understood correctly, is integrated into the protocol. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I've been thinking about this for a while already, but have you thought about basically shrinking it down and make it as a management platform for companies?
No, but that would be an interesting application of the technology.
No, because basically you can build subnets and then you can just give basically this dash to your employees, and then you can decide in that kind of fluid, liquid democracy the way that basically what to do.
It's a fantastic idea.
And I really like what you're doing now. I mean, I'm really looking forward for the evolution. But I would like, is there something, or like how much are you following the steps of Ethereum? If you can spend some words on like how much this distributed application API can be used for maybe smart contracts or this kind of...
I actually don't follow Ethereum that close, so I don't know.
Okay, then okay, then we can maybe talk offline.
Yeah,
thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for the presentation so far. It's really interesting.
Thank you.
I have a question about electricity consumption. Because at one point you explained how not all the nodes are in the mathematical work to get consensus, but only a few of them. Is it so that through this system, as compared to Bitcoin, energy consumption can be kept lower?
No, because we still rely on the mining network. So essentially what's happening is you have a bunch of miners that are generating these proof of work hashes. And the proof of work hash takes the entire mining network to generate.
All of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's just a really long number, and it's a really secure, really long number that you can't really manipulate. And so we base the quorums that we select off of that number.
Yeah.
So we still require all of the electrical consumption that they do.
And all of them to participate.
But then we redirect it in different ways so that we can get instant transactions through the quorum system.
Thank you.
Yep.
there actually, right?
There's 3,200 master nodes currently.
And they are globally actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think is that one point, right? So when you become a master node, is it like location based? You know, so people can buy these things?
You can be anywhere.
Location saying, okay, I can have one master node on one location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all over the world, and it's up to you to decide where you put it.
You can have 100 master nodes at one server node coming out.
You can't have them on the same server. They have to be separate hardware.
Yeah.
And they have to be of a specific caliber of hardware.
On one location, basically.
Yeah, you could run it out of one colo, off of one hardware with multiple VPSs.
Manipulate your voting system also.
What was that?
I could manipulate your voting system.
No, you still need to have the dash allocated for each of them to be able to vote. So you still have to buy all of the dash for all of the master nodes that you want to vote with.
What is the total hashing power at the moment that the Dash system needs to work? And what is the projected for next year? And how many people can you serve with it?
So we use a different algorithm called X11, which is a little bit more friendly on electricity. It runs a little bit cooler, and our mining network's actually GPU-based at the moment. And so the numbers I would give you can't really relate to Bitcoin, but it's about 80 gigahash on average. And what was your last question?
And how many people are you projected next year for using Dash?
I have no idea.
No, not a clue.
No.
Any more questions? One more question. Yeah, we have time. Come on up. Daniel is setting up, and just to give you an idea, Daniel is the last speaker. While he's setting up his talk right now, we'll take some more questions for Evan and his team, and you guys are going to be here as well. So we'll continue because I think there are more Q&A. We'll continue. We'll break the Q&A up as soon as Daniel's ready. Let him have his talk, and then we'll continue more Q&A because I think that maybe there's some questions for Robert and Balu and Daniel. You're going to be here as well.
Yeah.
So we'll get to talk to you too. All right.
Yeah, if you could a little bit elaborate on the anonymity and the privacy. Like, for example, if somebody has several nodes which are participating in the do you call it like
Quorum?
Yeah, basically when you put a transaction in, then you said that the money gets shuffled or the coins get shuffled. What if the nodes which are participating in getting this shuffled are all belonging to one person?
Okay, so for the current system, the way that it works is you reach out to a node, and then you and a few other people put your money in there, and then you send transactions back to yourself, and they're denominated like you would cash, right? And then you propagate one giant transaction that is the accumulation of all of the money of all of the users together. And so nobody can tell where the money went in that transaction. And then you do the same thing on a different master node, and then a different one. And they're randomly selected from the whole network. And so the chances of you running into a bunch of people that are in cahoots trying to break your specific transaction are really low because there's 3,200 of these things. And they cost thousands of dollars a piece to run.
Yeah, okay.
In the future, it's not going to be masternode based at all, it'll be protocol based. Because we want to get away from that. We don't want the masternodes having anything to do with the privacy. We'd rather it happen at the protocol level and then actually instantaneously have privacy that's for the whole network.
Okay, so but right now you said that so you have like how do you actually contact the other people to put the money together?
It's in the core protocol. So essentially what you do is you propagate a message out to the network saying, hey, there's mixing going on this node if you want to connect.
Okay, and somebody else connects.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it just takes the first person to connect the first time, and then that master node then says, hey, yeah, I'm accepting connections now. There's a guy waiting here.
Okay, so how do you want to solve it on a protocol level?
We actually want to do it beforehand and then compile the transactions together later, which will be explained later. There's a lot of information that's going to come out over the next months.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.